Hello, and welcome to How the Opponent Works. What you are about to learn is the rules on how the statistics and stats between opponents, the challenger, and the weaponry works. Seeing as how the opponent reflects that of a video game, it must have video game rules. I will take you in depth on all these topics so that you will get a better understanding on what goes on in an episode of The Opponent. Are you ready? Here we go. Lesson 1. The Challenger. The Challenger is the main character in The Opponent. He is the one that goes from the arena, in which he battles an opponent, to the shop where he takes his rewards to purchase weaponry, to use to his advantage in upcoming fights. The Challenger has a base of 100 hit points, a starting handgun, and he is able to do standard combat techniques, such as punching and kicking. This concludes the lesson on the Challenger. Lesson 2. The Opponent. The opponent is what the challenger fights in the arena. The opponent can be anything: a person, creature, entity, or even an object. Let's take a look at the stat chart of an opponent. The stat chart has the following listed: hit points, attack, defense, speed, threat, name of the opponent's weapon of choice, and a brief description on the opponent. Hit points: the amount of hits an opponent can take before he is defeated. Attack: the amount of damage the opponent inflicts on the challenger. An integer is equivalent to a hit point: 3 to 3, 15 to 15, and so on. Defense: the amount of damage that is subtracted from the challenger. One integer is equivalent to 1 hit point. Speed: the rate in which how fast the opponent moves. 1 is slower than a snail. 100 is faster than lightning. Threat: the rate in which what kind of threat the opponent is to the challenger. It is calculated by the sum of attack, defense, and speed. Threat has 3 different levels: low, mid, and high. The general rules here are the following. The opponent's hit points can be no lower than 1 and no higher than 999. The opponent's attack, defense, and speed can be no lower than 1 and no higher than 100. Notice how the bars are divided into 10 sections, each section holding 10 points. This concludes the lesson on the opponent. Lesson 3. The Shop and Weapon Statistics. The shop is where the challenger spends his rewards in order to become more powerful during his fight with an opponent. The shop is split up into 2 separate menus: Buy and Tune-Up. Buy is where the challenger has a wide selection of various items to choose from, whether it's a gun, a blade, or a defense item. Let's take a look at some stats. As you can see, a gun has 3 different stats: firepower, capacity, and critical percent. Firepower: the rate in which how much damage the weapon inflicts on the opponent. 1 decimal integer is equivalent to 1 hit point, and 1 whole integer is equivalent to 10 hit points. Capacity: the amount of rounds a weapon has. Each integer is equivalent to 1 round. Critical percent: the rate in which how often a critical hit will occur. When a critical hit occurs, the firepower of the weapon is doubled. The blade weapons have a fixed damage value and are not affected by defense. The survival knife inflicts 10 hit points. The combat knife inflicts 20 hit points. The duo ninja swords inflict 30 hit points. The Tane ninja swords inflict 40 hit points. When the challenger punches or kicks an opponent, it inflicts 4 hit points. Punches and kicks are not affected by defense. The tune-up menu is where the challenger can tune up any type of gun. He can increase the value of any of the 3 stats a gun has, provided there are upgrade blocks remaining, and for a fee, of course. Here are a few general rules. The challenger can only bring 3 guns and a blade weapon of his choice to each fight in the arena. Despite the fact if the defense of an opponent exceeds the firepower of a gun, the gun will still inflict the minimum of 1 hit point and 2 hit points for a critical hit. And lastly, the capacity of a weapon is good for the duration of a fight in the arena. When the battle is over, the weapon's capacity will be replenished for the next battle. This concludes Lesson 3. And so this concludes this video on how the opponent works. Please remember to rate, favorite, comment, and subscribe. I am the Challenger, and I will see you next time.